Well, hello, beautiful people. I'm gonna actually continue on this chapter about shame. I'm gonna break it down into multiple videos because I truly believe this needs to be said more than ever today, because a lot of people need to be healed from shame. So, shame and abuse. Shame is a soul-eating emotion by Carl Gustav Jung. The exact manner in which abuse creates long-term damage is a complex, and inadequately understood. Some researchers have turned their attention to the precise mechanisms by which children adjust to the trauma of abuse. They have found that shame, not the severity of abuse, has the greatest effect on adjustment 1 year after the abuse. In other words, feeling of shame, act as an intermediary agent for the emotional trauma of the abusive event. Shame resulting from childhood abuse has also been shown to be strongly associated with adult re-victimization and adult depression. In a broken world, all humans experience shame, but the dynamics of abuse are such that abuse victims' lives literally revolve around shame. Abuse produces shame. Then the more shame abuse victims feel, the more long-term damage they experience. The cycle goes on and on until it is disrupted. It's as though the corrupt things an abuser does penetrates below the victim's skins, perverting their soul. Most survivors feel haunted by the very thing they hate and fear, like an alien parasite they cannot remove. Nothing generates clouds of toxic shame like abuse, and because shame doesn't evaporate with time, survivors need to need a concerted strategy for understanding and eliminating shame in order to be set free from its toxic power. Why does abuse create such vast amounts of toxic shame? There are several reasons. Now we're going to get into it. Shame is transferred from abusers. Survivors inherit toxic shame from their abusers and the family that enables them. Abusive families or unhealthy systems such as churches, schools, and use shame to manipulate and control others, which hides abuse and enables abusers to harm and keep harming others. As we noted in our examination of characteristics of abusers consistently shift blame to their victims, are deceitful, and exhibit harsh judgmentalism. These behaviors largely result from the abuser's own shame, both toxic and healthy, that they are unwilling to own and address. When an abuser doesn't take responsibility for their own sin, the victim is the one to carry it. The abuser transfers the shame to the victim. When the victim is a child, this transfer of shame is even more damaging. Since children are most vulnerable, children don't have the cognitive or emotional resources to ferret out the truth and cannot reject an undeserved shame that abusive parents pile on them. Pastoral counselor Richard Fraser explains the way abusive parents' shame is absorbed by their vulnerable children. A child is emotionally unable to refuse, modify, or detoxify a parent's abusive projections. The power differential is too great and the projections too toxic and overwhelming. Furthermore, the child actually lives in the emotional world and fantasy life of the parent. This is the child's reality. Given these characteristics of abusers, along with the debasing nature of abuse itself, it is understandable that the abuse victims come to believe they are disgusting and deserve to be abused. During the time of the first edition of this book was written, several police officers in our community discovered a 7-year-old boy named Isaac, who had been locked up in a closet laden with urine and feces for 6 months. His parents reportedly had denied him food for up to a week at a time. When discovered, Isaac weighed only 36 pounds and was so malnourished that he was losing his hair and could barely stand. Officer Ben Balthazar, who found the boy, said that when he interviewed the parents, they acted as if Isaac deserved the treatment he had received. Isaac's mother reported that she didn't like his attitude and thus he was being punished. One of the authorities interviewed about the case and said Isaac should make a full physical recovery, but his emotional healing will take years. In particular, this little boy will need extensive support to overcome the toxic shame that was transferred by his evil parents. Now again, if you have gone through this, if this is exactly what you have experienced in life, from that one example, or even just in the little ways that your parents either controlled you, manipulated you in certain ways, please let me know in the comments. It is time to get vulnerable, it is time to get transparent, and it is time to heal our emotional realities to be able to face the real one. So anyway, Jesus loves you. He wants to set you free from shame. And it's only through community and really healing and really addressing this and really facing it and owning it. You're loved, you matter, and you are important. Until next time.